Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I wanted to make a short video. I'm here in Findhorn in Scotland, and I've been spending the last few days here and sort of bringing a bit of Syd back to Scotland in teaching a retreat. And it just became really apparent to me over the last couple of days that what I'd most like to do next with this understanding, this teaching, is help create a next generation of teachers who can continue Syd's legacy in the world. But when I talk about continuing Syd's legacy, I want to make a really clear distinction between talking about things the way Syd talked about them and talking about from the place inside us that Syd spoke. So much of Syd's teaching was in the feeling. And he would even always say, don't listen to my words, listen for a feeling. And then, innocently enough, the next generation of teachers, myself included, all came along and wanted to make sure that we got the words right, that we were able to articulate this just right so that people could get it. But what people get is the come from, not what comes from us. And so in putting this training together, I wanted to take longer than I usually take on one of these trainings. So we're doing it over 9 months so that there's plenty of time to not just deepen our grounding, but to experience more of how this deeper feeling of life, this deeper feeling of presence, this deeper feeling of aliveness can come through us in our own unique way to wake people up to this same feeling, this same space within them. So one of my first experiences, in fact, my first experience of sharing the principles in groups, and this training is very much going to be focused on one-on-one work. It's not another coaching training. It very much is about how do you share this with more than one person at a time? How do you share this with 100 people at a time? Maybe thousands of people at a time. And there's just a different dynamic to it. And so the first time I shared the principles publicly was at a conference in London. And afterwards, it went very well, I thought. I really just shared from the heart. I shared what I saw. I shared how I had been affected and how I had been impacted by my experience of Syd and my experience of this inside-out understanding. And one of the first generation teachers came up to me afterwards, and I think their intent may have been to put me in my place a little bit, but something really beautiful and perfect happened. As they started to speak to me, we both dropped into this deeper feeling, this deeper presence, this deeper quiet. And they talked about how maybe I could have done this differently, and maybe it would be better if I was a little less bouncy. But all I heard was love. All I heard was spirit talking to spirit, soul talking to soul, life talking to life, mind talking to mind about mind. And that's the spirit that I want to bring into this. So we will be covering group dynamics. We will be talking about managing separate realities in a group. We will be working with and working through any sort of nerves about public speaking and the kinds of things that just keep your attention on you and away from the feeling that sharing the principles is really all about. But fundamentally, from day one, we're going to be focused on sharing the feeling and letting whatever form comes, come. And the form that comes from you will be the perfect form. There will be people who will resonate with the way this comes through you, this feeling comes through you, in a way that they never would with me, and that they might not even have done with Syd. So we have a very real, unique role to play in the continuation of Syd's legacy, but also the spreading of something that's beyond just Syd, that's beyond just the ideas, that's the actual spiritual essence that came through him so clearly. And we're going to get together and we're going to take our time so that that same spiritual essence can come through us with our unique flavor. And if that appeals to you, please check out the details on the page. We've made this training as affordable as we can, much more affordable, to be absolutely honest, than many of our trainings in the past, because we really want you to be a part of it if this is something that calls to you. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and if this is for you, I'll see you there.